Hello and welcome to the second Penfolds Vintage Years event here at the Hospital Club in London. Today we're going to be celebrating the Penfolds Vintage Years event, which looks at drawing together wonderful ingredients in winemaking alongside celebrated personalities in business today. In terms of our Vintage Years, we're going to be celebrating this with Greg Dyke, the ex-Director General for the BBC, and also our Chief Winemaker at Penfolds, Mr. Peter Gago.
I would like to thank Penfolds for inviting me to speak here tonight, as the concept of sharing successful years in combination with a wine appealed to me enormously. Anyway, when deciding what year to choose, I was told that the audience tonight was going to be full of young entrepreneurs who were not coming for the wine. Yeah, I believe that. But were going to be coming because they want to be enthralled by me. So I thought back and decided not to talk about the comings and goings, as funny as they were, but instead to talk about a year when everything went well, when a bunch of us called it right, and as a result we collectively made £50 million between us. Personally, I made a lot of money as a direct result of the actions we took that year. The year was 1991. Some of you were probably born in that year, which also happened to be a rather good year for Penfolds wine. Now there's a coincidence. Anyway, so why was 1991 such a vintage year? Well, there was intrigue, there was risk, there was drama, there was great comradeship, and of course, in the end, we won. It was game, set, and match to us. But most of all, I think this is true of all business, most of all, it was exciting. If in your life you can have a year as exciting and rewarding as 1991 was for me, then you'll be pretty lucky. Thank you.
The fun doesn't end there. It's a great privilege for me to now be able to introduce to you a real great within winemaking. Over from Australia, it's the chief winemaker for the Penfolds wineries. It's Mr. Peter Gago, and he's going to be taking you through a tasting in a second with some wine that will be distributed to you. And I'd like to introduce you, Peter Gago.
Can I just say a few things firstly about Penfolds? We've been doing business now for 166 years. Where I live, Adelaide, the colony was started back in 1836 and Penfolds started 8 years later in 1844. In the world of wine, what I like about it is basically there are no absolutes. And we had a conversation before coming out here a little earlier. You know, most of the time in wine, when it comes to selecting wines, picking wines, vintages and whatever, we're wrong. You know, wine is about enjoyment. Wine is about preference. One to watch out for is the Sononri. Now, this particular vintage, just released, the 2006, is the 50th consecutive release by Penfolds. Tonight, whether you're into wine or not, please remember, there is no one right nor wrong in the way of wine, including the people in this book, the judges who put it together. It's about what you like and it's about your preferences. So perhaps tonight then when we taste together, and I'll be around for a little while talking about some of the wine with some of you perhaps. There are over 100 of you here. I won't be able to chat to you all. But let's go out there, enjoy the evening. We've had an amazing talk here. The rest of the night is about enjoyment and drinking some good wine. Thank you very much.
Great speaker, Q&A, fantastic. Didn't know they did white wines, and they're actually really nice.
Greg's chat was brilliant, kind of brought you into the year, which was really an interesting way to bring us into the whole wine thing.
The wine tasting, though, was definitely been the pinnacle of my night.
Well, I thought it was a superb evening. Greg Dyke spoke wonderfully well about his vintage year, which I thought was extremely interesting. 1991 for him was pretty tumultuous in terms of his payout from the BBC. And equally, Peter Gago spoke wonderfully well about 1991 being a vintage year for him and also the quality of the wine. So all in all, a fabulous event, and I can't wait for the next one.